I'm waiting on Mr. C. He's coming in a few minutes. And put my glasses on and get everything set up. I'm still using old glasses. They don't work as well, but sometimes not the exact thing you need is better than something that you don't have. So, right? So that's what I'm doing. Put these old ones on and see if that helps me, because what I have to do is I have to move the monitor of my desktop a little bit further away from me. So how are you guys doing? Getting it set up so that I can have the chat and everything with it. Shalom, shalom, old McMoney. Okay, so this is, let's see, content. Okay. I'm still trying to get. All right. Well, it's good to hear, A. Miller. I'm glad you guys are doing well. I'm still trying to find my live. Haven't been able to find my live. Library, my videos. Bear with me, family. I'll get it together. Live. There it is. Okay. So when Mr. C comes, I will have it. He went to get, I think, some coffee or something like that. All right. There we go. And I will move it over a little bit because he's got to be able to get into this picture too. Right? Shalom, shalom, Eve New Beginnings. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Putting up with me. Appreciate it. Trying to make room for everything here. Because normally I'm in here by myself. You got enough room there?
I do.
Okay. Mr. C is joining me. Got to make sure you're in the, can we scooch you up? Are you in the camera's eye? You comfortable?
Sure.
I feel like I'm up and you're down. Should we change spots?
No, I'm good.
You're good? You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to move the camera because it's not about me. There we go. It's about you. Should I just put it completely on you?
No.
No, I'm just kidding. It's about the whole family. We're all here. Shalom, shalom. Say hello to the family.
Hello to the family.
Stop.
Oh, hello, family.
All right. What are we going to talk about today?
I guess we have questions and answers and input from the community on prepping, being prepared.
Okay. That sounds good. Are you guys ready to ask us questions? Let me move my necklace behind me. My eyeglass chain behind me. I see one question in here so far. And shalom, shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It looks like there's 27 people in the chat right now. 28. Okay, the number's growing. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So it looks like Patricia. Oh, let me get you set up too, Chuck.
I can see it.
Okay. All right. He's saying he can see it. Patricia Brittenham.
Yeah, if I'm looking down, I'm just reading chat. So
okay. Patricia Brittenham says, why is furnace failing you? Must stay warm. God bless you. Merry Christmas is, I think, what you're saying. Well,
darn good question.
What, for 2 days? Started 2 days ago. Well,
no, well,
longer than that.
Yeah, it was a week ago Saturday that it started. And then
that's the OCD and
our Mr.
OC, whatever it is in me. You had it. It was sitting. Stop. It was sitting on an angle. Mr. C had his coffee sitting at an angle. You know how some of us have to move things, shift things to make sure that they're sitting perfectly correct. So anyhow, I interrupted you. Sorry. You should be used to this by now.
I am.
Okay, so what were you saying, dear?
So essentially, there was a bad part in the furnace, and my brother-in-law is really good Mr. Fix-It. He was able to locate the issue, and of course, it needed parts. Between the two of us, we kind of figured that we've actually replaced every working part of the furnace over the last 20 years. But he got us working for a temporary fix until parts came in. And then parts finally came in. But then it was one of those things trying to schedule time with him because busy man. And in the interim of waiting and so on and so forth, it just said, I'm done.
Yeah, it decided it didn't want to wait any longer.
So, and of course, the day that it went out, we had the actual air temperature was 7 degrees below zero.
Outside.
With a wind chill factor of -50. So, perfect timing.
Right. And then now, mind you, when it first started failing and we were having issues, the house began at that point to start to cool off.
Right.
So it was a gradual cooling off until the day that it just said, I'm done. And the day that it decided to say, I'm done was like the coldest day. So it was not only cold outside, it was freezing inside as well.
Yes. So, but to answer the question, it's an old furnace, and we have replaced everything that's broke on it.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, Mr. C and my brother he's our tech that when we have issues with dishwasher, refrigerator, he's got a business and that's what he does.
Yeah.
So he comes in on a regular basis to do checkups on our furnace and everything else. So it's not like we didn't have it checked prior to.
Right.
So we knew that we needed to probably have maintenance done. We didn't know
Well,
that it was going to just
there was no way that we could count
refuse to work.
Yeah, there was no way that we could count on a part deciding to fail.
Yeah. So
it was just one of those things.
I just wanted to say that it's not that we didn't neglected it or anything.
Oh no, we do.
These things happen.
Yeah, we do maintenance every year on it.
These things happen. So we were in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old McMonty says, yikes, -50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Janice says hers went out also. Well, honey, I hope that you were able to stay warm. Well, what did we do to stay warm, Mr. C?
Let's see. Well,
you kept moving. You kept moving around. I didn't have a whole lot to do. So I kept warm under blankets and stuff. So that was you're putting on full clothing from not really head to toe. You do.
I do, but that's because my office is in the basement, and the basement is cold anyway.
So he wears one of the knit caps that I knitted for him. He wears that in the basement while he's working.
I do. Worst case too, we have a fireplace and I've got firewood, so.
But it didn't.
If it got cold enough to the point that it was really bad, I would have put a fire on.
It was cold, but it wasn't. I told him he suggested it, and I said, "Nah, we're good. If you're good, I'm good. Why go through the extra work and put a fire together?" And I said, "No, we're good." So it was cold.
Good question.
It was cold, but it didn't get that cold.
Connie. Well,
what's the question? What's the best way to keep food cold if the electricity goes out?
So that's kind of a...
Thank you, Connie, for that question.
A seasonal question. So, like if it's now and you happen to be up here in this area, it's +1 today. So, worst case, you could put it on a porch in a cooler in your garage, outside if it's safe. If it's the middle of summer,
And you have food in your refrigerator and freezer. One of the rules that we always share on here is that the food will keep longer so long as you keep the doors closed. So don't go
yes,
opening your refrigerator. Don't open your freezer
yep,
during the hot months and the electricity goes out. We lasted a little over 4 days
yes,
with our electricity going out during the summer months.
yep,
It was a hot time frame, and we knew not to open the freezer or the refrigerator. And what we did was we waited until we felt okay, we got to do something about this. And then Mr. C went out and hunted up ice. Now you can talk a little bit about the hunt for ice during that time frame. When there's an emergency in an area and other people are experiencing the same things that you're experiencing, what happens when you go to search for those things?
yeah, they weren't available.
Yeah, so he had to go to a few places in order to pick up the ice.
And then there's old McMoney,
Mm-hmm.
and so did Janice at the first thing using,
Okay.
yeah,
So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is if you have ice available in the summer months, you can fill up a bathtub. You can fill up um, a washing machine that's top load with ice, and you can put items in there to try to keep them cool or cold so that they don't spoil or go bad.
right.
What was it? Food that we were talking about only? Was that what the question was?
Yes,
Okay.
and to answer the question, we had a blackout in this area. We had a tornado that was nearby, so the area around us was blacked out. Businesses were down. So I had to drive outside the blackout area, which
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't too bad. It's about 5 miles away.
In that cases, many cases, you can't use your credit card, so you have to have cash.
Right.
And what do we say all of the time, family? Make sure that you have some cash around the house. And when you have that cash, make sure that you break it down into smaller denominations because
Yes.
you never know when you're going to need it. In our case, for ice.
Right. So, but that's what I ended up doing, going outside the blackout area and purchasing the ice and then trying to get back here
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Oh, McMonty has a good advice also. And family, remember this. This is a time for us all to be together. Shalom, shalom. Pamela Montgomery, Zion's girl, didn't see you there. But this is a time for us to share with one another as well. So just as old McMonty is sharing some tips, you guys pitch in also. And for all of you who have questions, do me a favor so that we can see it because we're looking at my desktop monitor and not the phone. So just so that we can have the questions highlighted, can you please start your question with some question marks so that we can see it right away? Okay.
Yeah.
That way we can see that that's what you're asking about. Oh, McMonty had something I wanted to say. She said, put moving blankets, comforter, whatever, over your freezer to help to keep it insulated in the event of a blackout and you don't have the electricity. And that's a good idea. Pamela Montgomery says cardboard is great to insulate as well.
True.
Absolutely. So you were pointing out something. What was it?
Yeah.
Lindsay
Yeah.
says get you an extra car battery and DC inverter and take the 2-wire that go to your furnace and put a plug on the end of it and your furnace will come on. Wow.
And if you actually add a battery keeper to that will extend the battery even longer.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Any other questions? Any other tips?
Yeah, definitely.
So I did find out there were 22 million folks in the United States under emergency rolling blackouts. These were some of the headlines that I saw today. Another one was Winter Storm Elliott sweeps the USA and leaves more than a million without power. So, family, these headlines are telling me that the things that we have discussed in the past are relevant. So don't think that when we get on here and we start talking to you about, well, get prepared, get ready. This things is coming our way. These things are happening, just as we said that they were happening, going to happen, and that tells us that we should always be ready for what's coming our way. Another headline said, "Winter storm, 1 million without power across 25 states." And this was about the flights. I don't know if you guys had heard this or were aware of it. There were over 5,000 flights that have been canceled due to this storm.
Yeah.
And then one thing I have to mention because it bothers me, and that is there were 3 busloads of migrants. I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but 3 busloads of migrants were used again and shipped to Vice President Kamala Harris's house Christmas Eve night is what happened. They shipped 3 buses of migrants in the cold and dropped them off at her house.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And I thought, if nothing else, contact the folks in that area. They have access to and the ability to contact the folks if they're going to send them. I don't have an issue with them sending folks to different areas in the United States for them to get help. I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with the manipulation. I have an issue with, well, I'm just going to drop them off without warning, so that these people are out in the cold. That's what I have a problem with. If you're going to do it with
humane intentions.
Right, exactly. That's my thought. You're out of the picture. What are you doing? You're trying to get out of the video? Scoot over.
No, I'm just sitting up.
I don't smell, I promise you.
I'm just sitting up. You miss it. So I see Seattle's getting hit with the next storm system that's coming in. They're iced over. And apparently they have several people without power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, many people were stranded at the airports. I feel for them. I really do. This weather is nothing to play with, and that's the truth. It's nothing to play with. But I think that this weather is part of the judgment, and that's just, of course, that's my opinion, but that's what I believe, that this weather that we're having and we're experiencing, it's winter, yes, but this, I don't know if you're seeing the headlines. They're saying that this is extreme. This is like never before, is what people are saying. So these are some of the things that we're faced with right now. I like that. Jamie Skirvin says, stay ready so you won't have to get ready.
Yep.
I like that.
Very good line. Very good line. So I did have some links that I sent you for.
Okay. Go ahead. I was just reading what old McMonty had said.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I did have some links that I sent you for just overall weather, power outages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because,
You sent me one that I could share with the family, but I'm not able to do it right now. I'd have to.
That's fine. We'll add them in at the description. It's just the only reason I bring them up is that they come in really handy with the storms that are rolling across the country right now. So depending on what location you're in, you can kind of look to the west, if you will.
Keep up with it.
And see where things are coming in at, what you might want to take a look and make sure that you've got enough supplies for, whether it's water or food or blankets or whatever. But so I'll make sure we can get those in the description. They're just great to have, that's all.
How many of you guys have spent the last few days updating your bags to make sure that they're winter ready, ready for this season that we're in? Your bug out bags, your to-go bags, what's the one that you take to work with you?
Get home bag.
your get home bags. Have you guys, if you haven't updated them, have they already been updated? Were you ahead of the game? Because see, I took the past 2 days, and I spent the past 2 days rearranging my bags so that I know where pretty much everything is at, and getting myself organized so that in the event that we have an emergency, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
The one thing I need to do, and I haven't done that one yet, is I need to go back and review what I have in my car. Um, I pretty much have winterized items out there, but I think that there's probably a few things that I could probably add to what I have in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And the bag thing, I mean, you're gonna want to make sure that you do it every season, only because you really don't want to have a winter blanket if it's the middle of July. Um, so you want to make sure that your bag is up to date with some extra clothing because you're always going to need it. But of course, that's seasonal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you have batteries, make sure you're not actually storing your batteries in your devices. But if you do have them in there, make sure you rotate them out. Even if your bag's sitting there for 6 months, the batteries will start to degrade while they're in a device itself. So there's always batteries on sale someplace, and most of them, Duracell and a few other manufacturers, they got a big guarantee of 7 to 10 years on them as long as they're being stored. So it doesn't hurt to pick up a bonus pack. But batteries and anything else, and if you do keep food in your bags, make sure the expiration dates, you check them just to make sure that you don't have something in there from 1969 or something. You really want to try to keep it as fresh as possible, but
Mm-hmm. Even though there are items that will last a long time,
true.
you still want to go through and check it. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Old McMoney is saying that get some sand or kitty litter to add to your cars. I'm assuming, but correct me if I'm wrong, Old McMoney. I'm assuming you're saying put that in the car for in cases of your car, your tires, your wheels getting stuck in
Extra traction.
in the snow or what have you. But if there's another reason that we're not hitting on, please put it in the chat so that we can all see it. Okay. Psalm 91er, shalom, shalom, sweetie, says, my water was off for about a day and a half. My electricity went out for a little while, but the Most High got us. Yes, he does. This is good. This is good suggestions. Thank you to the two of you. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you guys for spending time with us like this. Okay, Connie Lacasse says, I need more Lacaze. Sorry. I need more things for my bag. Will the major blackout be this January? Well,
we don't.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't say for sure. You know what? Well, you go ahead.
We could start a pool if you want. No, never mind.
You're so silly.
But
nah, you never know. It's so. Who was it? Who was it that said? No, it wasn't Connie. It was Jamie Skirvin. Stay ready so you won't have to get ready. That's the thing right there. Okay, so I was going to, you read while I look for something real quick.
So the other thing I was going to bring up, you were saying that you still need stuff for your bag, with the ho season, and after the first of the year, we're going to have returns and clearances and all those other good things. Might be an interesting time to go out and see what you can get on discount or returned items, because sometimes it's really just, I didn't need the 17th flashlight kind of a thing, and you might be able to find some pretty good deals.
Okay. While he was doing that, I wanted to talk to you guys about a movie. Ooh. Are you guys, what's the matter?
Janice said, "Good morning. Water pipes
Good thing.
bursted. Oh, that's not good.
No.
Is everything
How
okay,
do you
Dem?
keep? Go ahead.
Did you get stuff dried out? Are you, kind of cleaning up the mess?"
Yeah, you're gonna have to have those pipes repaired. One way when I was younger, and we used to, live in an area where our pipes were at risk of freezing and bursting. One of the things that we used to do is my mom would heat up water, and she would put bowls of hot water underneath the pipes that were like under the sink and things like that to keep them from
Overheated heat.
right getting too hot or getting too cold and freezing, so that to keep them from bursting. And sometimes they would use space heaters, but you would you need to use whatever you can
Yeah.
in order to keep them warm. You can insulate them with
Yeah, you can insulate them. I mean, and if it's
wrapping
sub-zero,
towels and things like that around them.
you can turn the water
That's
on
to
just
try
so
to
it
avoid,
drips.
right? That's to try to avoid your pipes from bursting.
Right. So you can turn the water on just so till it drips to keep the water
That's
flowing.
right.
The other thing is if it's water pipes like on outside walls, you can actually just open up the cabinets just to let the warm air from the room um, keep the pipes, so that they won't freeze. I mean, if you're in a complex or something, you can still try to keep your own stuff
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't freeze.
Artsy RSY says we forgot to wrap a pipe and it leaked for a while before it was discovered. Do you think having a door for houses on a pier beam to be easy access to pipes? Should you change pipe insulation? Pipe insulation, change pipe insulation. If you see that it's gotten wet, I would say
Well,
yes,
yeah,
you would need
absolutely.
to change it.
If it's damaged or wet, yeah, absolutely. So you don't want it to freeze because it'll freeze the pipes or the
Right.
water inside the pipes.
And sometimes I guess you won't know that you have a leak or a damaged pipe until the insulation is actually damaged. And definitely at that point, you need to fix whatever the problem is and
Yeah.
then re-insulate it. But it wouldn't hurt to check it on a regular basis. What about the door? The door, would the door help? Do you think having a door for houses on a pier slash beams to be easy access to pipes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you got a door that you could open to maybe check um, a valve or just to be able to kind of peer down the pipes to make sure that there aren't any leaks, absolutely. Be a lot easier than trying to climb under the house or, you know, any other kind of access
Oh,
trying to
look at
see it.
yeah, that's good. Eve New Beginning says use the swimming noodles on the pipes to insulate. And if
Yep.
the swimming noodles the inside is too narrow for your piping, the hardware stores also carry they're not called noodles, but they look like noodles.
Right.
And
They're actual pipe. You can get if you know what size pipe that your pipes are, you can go to the hardware store and actually get the installation for them.
to fit them.
Right.
But that's a good one. If the swimming noodles will work, that's like the cheapest way of going. And you know me, frugal me, Eve New Beginnings. You know me, sweetie. That's the frugal way of
Yep.
doing things.
Yep, that's a great idea.
And shalom to you too, Dove. It's good to see you here. You say Shabbat Shalom, Sister Mary C. And hubby, pray you're all well and staying warm. We are now.
Yeah, we are now.
A few days ago, it's yesterday. Actually, what time? When did it start warming up? Towards the evening.
It actually got to temperature by 9:30 last night.
But we had the furnace was complete. The fix on the furnace was done by about what 3?
Yeah, it was about 3:30. I figured about 6 hours to bring the house
Yeah.
temperature from 48 up to our normal temperature.
Yeah, it took a little while. It really did. But we managed.
Yeah.
Like one of you sisters in here or brothers in here said, the Most High had us. Don't apologize. Art Rosie, Art RSY says, I'm sorry, my name is Karen. That's okay. Don't apologize. You guys are first-time owners. No problem.
Oh,
Congratulations.
nice. Yeah, very good.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yes.
And it really does. Dripping is perfect. It
Okay.
doesn't have to run.
And that's to what Psalm 91 said. He said, it says, yes, remember to keep that water dripping a little overnight, just like Mr. C said as well. The hot water, if possible. Keep extra water around, because this happened on Christmas Eve. So to the Most High Yah be the glory. Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyways, Mr. C and I watched a movie the other day that I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good movie. You know how we watched, what was the one called? Dragon Day. You know how we watched Dragon Day, and we shared that with you guys so that you can kind of get an idea of what would happen if we are invaded by another country and we have to kind of ration our supplies because they ran out of water and food supplies, but water was a really big issue in that movie. And then to put yourself in their shoes in that movie, The Dragon Day, how you would better prepare for the situation that some of those guys were faced with. For example, the one lady got caught on the highway and the car would not work, and she had high heels and she didn't have walking shoes. So that's one thing, we were able to look at and say, no, we would put an extra pair of shoes, gym shoes, comfortable walking shoes in your car in the event that your car stops and you have to walk. You've got comfortable shoes to wear. Absolutely. So that was one thing. So what we watched, and water. And what we watched the other day was called
American Meltdown.
Have you guys seen that movie? Okay, we will. The one here. I'm gonna see if I can type it in.
Go ahead.
The one that we watched was called, just recently was called American Meltdown. And it was on Tubi. If you guys are familiar with Tubi. What is it?
Tubi.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the other one was called Dragon Day, yes. And you can watch that one on Prime. And if you don't have Prime, you can watch it on YouTube. Look for the free movie, the entire movie. It's on there. It's not the best on YouTube. The one, it's kind of grainy, but it shows the entire movie. You can watch it. You can see it. It's still pretty good. And it is called Dragon Day.
So Dragon Day kind of gave you ideas, in my opinion, of how you could kind of better prepare for that type of a situation. American Meltdown.
I'm moving us again.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm getting
I
dizzy.
do that all the time.
I'm sick. Oh no. Anyway. So I just thought it was.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I do it every time.
It was pretty interesting, only because there could be. I'm familiar with Tubi.
Okay, so Tubi is free. One of my favorite words, right?
Absolutely.
Tubi is free, and it has a whole bunch of movies that are out there. A lot of them are what you call them, spaghetti or
they're B movies.
B movies.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are movies that you've heard of before. They have a lot of the old black and whites and some of the old ones that they have now, they use the Technicolor on, right?
Yeah.
But they've got some pretty good ones, and some of them are off-brand names, something that you may not have seen before out there advertised. But a lot of the folks that are in these movies are people you've seen them before.
You'll recognize a lot of them. It was an interesting movie, not so much for how you could prepare for it.
Let me read the description of it.
You go right ahead.
And then you can talk about what you thought about it, okay?
I certainly can.
Okay.
Oh, she's moving me again.
Oh, stop. I'm not moving you. Okay. Okay. It says the description for this American Meltdown. That's this one here. And again, American Meltdown. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's on Tubi. And the description says, in the wake of 9/11, U.S. government agencies and civilians scrambled to prevent a disaster when terrorists hijacked a California nuclear power plant. Okay. And so I thought there were some relevant information that they actually shared about the United States government. I felt a lot of what was said was pretty accurate when it comes to alerting the public of imminent danger. In this case, the terror of what the folks in that area were facing. So if you get a chance to go out and look at it, look it up. Oh, there's our sex bots again. Look it up, and you guys can let us know what you think about it. Hi. Oh my goodness. All right, let me see if I can remove these guys. I never know whether to hide the user on this channel, remove them, put them in timeout. What would you say?
Remove them.
Remove them? Okay. Are they done by different things? All right.
Apparently.
Okay, so that's okay, Pamela. I got them. I think I got them. If you don't see them, hopefully they're gone by now. See, Pamela, and the ones that have the blue on their names, Even New Beginnings, they have the wrench.
Oh,
They
okay.
can also send them to the moon or get rid of them as well. Pamela was looking for them so she could get them. But thank you guys. You're always on it. I appreciate it. So, anyways, those movies. And a while back, this one here, I spoke to you guys about. Let me see. A couple of other movies, and lo and behold, if I didn't find them on Tubi as well. And I'll start with the first one. Do you remember me telling you guys that there are some old movies? I think they were done. Doesn't really give us a time frame.
It was
or does
either
it?
late 60s or early 70s.
1972 for the first one. And it was called A Thief in the Night. You can go out to Tubi and you can watch it for free. There's a series. There's 4.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 of them. One is A Thief in the Night. Another one is A Distant Thunder. Another one is Prodigal Planet. And another one is The Image of the Beast. I believe those are all part of this series. And it addresses the chance of rapture. I know not everybody believes that there is a rapture, and we certainly don't believe that it's anything like the movies. What was it? The movie's called Left Behind.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like that at all. But for those of you that are interested in seeing how, like for one example is in this movie, the first one that was called The Thief in the Night. This particular woman, she goes to her pastor, and she is angry with that pastor because she has been one of the people that's been left behind. And she's one of those that was a steady, I'm going to church on a regular basis. She was left behind, but her husband was taken. And she went to blame the pastor because, of course, the pastor was still there too. She went to blame the pastor because she was left behind. And it's one of those things where you realize in that moment that she was just as responsible for her condition as her pastor was. That she chose to ignore the truth and went with what she felt made her feel better. Okay?
Yeah.
Am I describing it? And so she was left, but her husband took it to heart, and he was taken, if you will. Now, not like I said, I don't necessarily believe in all of the way that a lot of preachers teach the rapture, but I think that these movies have some pretty good. Um, there's some good information in these movies. I think they're pretty good for that. Don't believe everything that's in them, but it's a good try, an
Yeah,
attempt. I think probably better than the Left Behind series. I think this is a pretty good attempt at showing you what the times would be like, um, when what happens when you have to take the mark or not take the mark, what your living conditions would be like. Uh, would you be, running and hiding? Would you have folks that would tell on you? Just like the Bible says,
right.
those things are just like the Bible says. So this is a story about a young woman and her experience during the time frame of an event that left her behind.
Yeah. No, it was. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, just like any of the movies that we're kind of talking about, just keep in mind that they are B movies. Um, the big thing is to watch them. Not so much the acting, but some of the events that are displayed and portrayed. The information provided is also really good. You just got to be kind of more keen on the information than bad acting. That's
Right,
all.
right. It's not the best of acting, and you need to be well versed, I think, with the Bible so that you
Yes.
can determine, you can discern what's truth and what some Hollywood or some writer
Yeah.
decided to add to it. So that's with all of the movies. They tell you a
Or
little bit of the
anything.
truth, right? They tell you a little bit of the truth, and then you get some lies mixed in there with it. So you always have to be able to discern. You're right, with anything, because it's with books, with movies, it's with anything. With preachers that you go to a church, you have to be able to discern some of the things that are good and some of the things that are not good. You have to be able to discern those things, and that's why the Holy Spirit comes in handy. You need the Spirit. You need the Holy Spirit. Old McMonty is saying, thank you, Old McMonty. She went and looked it up. American Meltdown is on free Amazon Prime, but there are ads. And then,
Just by the way, Tubi's the same thing.
yeah, Tubi, but they're not hard.
But
They're not.
they're
They're
not.
not painful. You don't have to.
Yeah.
It,
You're not there for an hour watching
yeah,
an aspirin commercial or something.
and you don't have to watch
Uh,
the commercials that have all of the,
yeah.
what am I? You know what I'm trying to say. The I'm
Uh,
trying to think of a polite way of saying it.
yeah, I can't think of a polite way of saying it, but you also don't get
The
any.
messy commercials. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
The messy commercials that we didn't ask to see.
they're actually like normal commercials, which
Yeah,
is actually okay.
that's on Tubi. He's
Yeah,
talking about.
which is kind of weird. You're not getting all the ones that if you have dandruff, if you take this awesome drug, you may
Yeah.
develop Ebola, blindness, die
Your
twice.
elbow might
Yeah,
fall off.
right.
Yeah, all of that.
So
Uh, oh my goodness. Okay, so we have Dominique, which is ELOAA. That's Dominique.
okay,
Dominique says strange happenings. It's not just to you, and I don't know what the cause is other than to say that I think it's a YouTube thing. But you're saying strange happenings. I have not been able to comment the last three lives. It's not something that we've done on our end, myself or the moderators. Uh, moderators chip in with your information on this, but we have not limited our Dominique, our sis here, on the ability to be able to, chip in on the chat. I believe it's got something to do with YouTube, and I'm not sure why it happens, but then it happens for a few, and then voila, it's fixed, and then people are able to participate in the chat again. I have no idea what causes it, and I have no idea how it gets fixed, but it's you're not the only one that said this. So I don't know what to do about it though.
Oh, I like Janice's statement. Yeah, like the commercials without woke idioms.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pamela Montgomery, you are saying the same thing that I'm saying. It's definitely YouTube, not on our end. So I apologize. I don't know what causes it, and I don't know what
Yeah, what the
fixes it, but
fix?
I'm glad you're back with us. Yeah, yeah. Emmett is another sister who let me know that it's happening, and for others, some folks aren't getting notifications. And so if you find that you're not getting notifications to the channel, I would ask you guys to unsubscribe from this channel and then go back and subscribe and then re-hit that notification button, because YouTube has been doing some things in that area as well. And I've had people that have said that they're not getting notifications.
I don't know anybody that knows what YouTube is doing. I don't know that YouTube
Yeah.
knows what YouTube is doing, but I have heard a lot of content creators going through the same issue.
Yeah.
So
Pray for our folks at YouTube. Pray that they will, you know, continue to be good for this channel. You know, uh, Janice said that she had to unsubscribe 6 times. I'm so sorry for that. But pray, because I do give the Most High glory and thanksgiving for us being on this platform and being able to come to you and us to be able to communicate one with another. There are hiccups that we're learning about, but I would say we should probably just pray over this channel, pray over this platform, that we will be able to continue to use it. Yes, try to unsubscribe and then subscribe again. What am I seeing on the side of your face?
I don't know.
You hurt yourself.
Oh, I hurt myself.
Yes, you did.
At least I'm not moving.
Stop. I didn't move us. I moved the camera.
But they see it as we're moving.
And I do it every time.
So I wanted to give them that 3D effect.
There's a glitch in all the platforms right now. Stop. God is readjusting. Oh my goodness. Pamela Montgomery says she just loves us. Thank you. We love you guys too.
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yes, we appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, perhaps you might consider subscribing.
Or unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Even the beginning says YouTube unsubscribed her from channels and subscribed her to unknown. We were saying something about that, weren't we?
You were going through something.
Yeah.
Like that.
It was the weirdest thing. I was like, what am I seeing this for? Who is this? I didn't subscribe to this guy. Yeah, you're right. I can attest to that.
I still have the issue with news channels. I've unsubscribed, resubscribed, and they still don't come up unless I go to my news tab.
Marsh Schlosser has a prayer here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your prayers. I noticed something else too. You know, I know I've been saying some things that some people just don't appreciate and would like for me to be quiet on certain subjects. And so I know that certain subjects that I speak on have run some folks away from this channel. I get that part of it. But the other day I was in my prayer and something told me that I needed to pray over the channel. Now I pray about you guys all of the time. I don't really pray so much for the channel, but I pray over you guys all of the time. But something told me in this particular time frame that I needed to pray over the channel and pray that the lines of those who would come to the channel to subscribe would open back up, because someone has been praying to shut that down. So I don't know who it is out there, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, but they have been praying to shut the channel down so that people would not come here. Well, if people don't come, we talk about the Most High. here on this channel a good portion of the time. I'm constantly saying to folks to read the Bible. I'm constantly saying to folks that they need to have a relationship with the Most High Yah. So this is one of those channels that I think that the Father has me in this position so that we can, not just me and the rest of the family can steer people to the Most High. So something is being done out there against this channel. So I would ask you guys to pray, not just for me and Mr. C and the rest of the family, but also to pray for this channel to remain open for those who are seeking, who are looking for the Most High, to find him, that we be that light that we're supposed to be. So pray for this channel that we can continue to be that light for those who are seeking the Father, because in these last days, they need him, just like we do. They need him. Thank you. I appreciate it, family. I appreciate it. Okay, there's another guy I subscribe to on YouTube, and we had the same talk. I'm not surprised. Speak that word, Psalm 91. No weapon formed against us. That's right. And this channel will not prosper. Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? I'm not surprised, because I know they're out there. And that's Dominique is saying, you may be surprised how many witches are on YouTube. No, they're out there. And along with those witches are demons as well. And we love you guys too, Psalm 91er. Something is telling you not to watch me? Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. So do you guys have any other questions on prepping, on going to the grocery store? I was telling you about the what do you call it? Sticker shock?
Yeah.
Can you call it sticker shock when you go to the grocery store?
I think that's probably a more polite term than I've come up with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we better stick to polite, because Mr. C can really go at it sometimes. we don't want that.
Exactly.
Oh, good gracious. We every now and then we just stick to getting just groceries. Every now and then we will go into the store and we'll say, well, we're just going to get what we need and we're going to get out.
Yeah.
Because neither one of us really enjoy shopping, especially not grocery shopping. We don't enjoy it. So sometimes, not always, sometimes we go in, get what we need, and come back out. We did that our last shopping trip together.
Right.
And we did not get a basket full of things.
No.
And yet, by the time we got finished with our groceries at the checkout, the amount that we spent was just crazy.
Yeah, it was really
for what we had. It was just crazy. It's one of those things where my mom says, you get stuff, but you don't have enough to show for what you spent on it.
Yeah, that definitely was a truism.
Tina Johnson says it's a lot of witches and warlocks coming against channels that are preaching about the Most High. Yes, for sure. So long as we have the word and we have the Most High, we can come against it. That's no problem. But we do have to recognize that they're out there and they're busy. It's going to affect. Connie LaCay says, is it possible that bad weather can eventually affect the government to provide us gasoline? Should I stock up on gas? I'm scared. Don't be scared, sweetheart. Don't be scared at all. or fearful. You know, we're not to live in fear, but pray always. That's what we say. Pray always, and understand that the Most High has us. But as far as the gasoline, what do you do as far as the gasoline is concerned?
What do you mean?
I see what you do. I can't with you today. I can't. It's up there. Now you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna hit push. You're gonna hit what is it called? That thing there.
A button.
Yeah, you're gonna push send. And it's gonna show up because we're using my phone. You silly. Stop. Behave yourself. Now see, you made me forget what I was talking about.
You were
What were we
talking about gasoline.
See what I have to put up with. I was talking about gasoline. No, somebody asked a question about gasoline. What was it?
Oh, storing gas?
Yes. What do you do about storing gas?
Well,
how do you do that?
I mean, that's kind of a situation. We store an extra 30 gallons of gas in gas cans. But I have it for the generator, and I have it, yeah, exactly.
You're saying exactly to what?
I'm
Somebody
sorry.
said something?
Yeah, she's asking about running a generator.
And that's Dominique, okay.
So, yeah, you know, you definitely want to make sure that you've got a supply of gas. I mean, you don't necessarily need to go out and buy, 55-gallon drums and stick them in your garage.
And please don't do what we saw on television. What was that, last year? Where there was a storm issue, I believe it was. And folks people were running out to make sure that they were able to get the gas.
Oh.
And they were putting them in plastic bags.
Yeah.
Going to the gas station and pouring, putting this gas in plastic bags and trying to close it up. And they're putting it in their car, spilling it all over the place.
Right.
But we actually saw people doing this.
Yeah. So you definitely want to
don't do that. Make sure that you have a container that will hold the gas.
Yeah.
If you're going to store it, right. If you're going to store it. And a lot of those containers, you can find those at the thrift store, because I found one for us at the thrift store. You just want to make sure that it's leak proof, doesn't have any holes or anything in it, and that you can close it up. And then you can also find them at garage sales. So thrift store, garage sales, and then you buy them at the hardware stores, and they're probably not too expensive, are they?
Well, they can be pricey, and the newer ones have a different kind of a spigot on them, which I don't really care for. But if you're going to store gas, make sure you store it away from the house, someplace away, like a shed or something along those lines.
Shalom, my beloved brother Jermaine Bonners. It's good to see you here. I see that day-to-day lifestyles is here. Shalom, 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 shalom. So we did get some more folks came on board. Shalom, Tammy. So, all right. So do we have any other questions? I'm going to show you how silly my husband is. He's sitting over here on his phone. Now we're filming on my phone, and he is on his phone getting ready to send me messages. That's how this man is. Okay, he does things like that. I have to stay on him. He does things like that. If desperate, use an empty jug. What about that? Not plastic jug, but the containers that we have ours in are made for gas.
Right.
But they're made out of plastic.
That's true.
But could you use like a milk jug?
The problem with milk jugs and other things that are out of various plastics is that the gasoline will melt the plastic.
So that's for you, Jill. Jill, what is that? Gaiati? Jill Gaiati. If desperate, use an empty jug. But Mr. C is actually saying not just any jug that's plastic. So you want to be careful with that.
I mean, if you have to, just make sure you don't store it near anything that's flammable, like the house. Okay, the movies that we were talking about, the first one,
of course, is the one that we all watched and we discussed. But there's some people on the chat who didn't get a chance to see it, and that was the old one that we watched and we talked about, and that was called Dragon Day. Okay, that one is on Prime, but you can also watch it free on YouTube. Okay, that was Dragon Day. The other one that we watched recently was called American
Meltdown.
American Meltdown, and that one's on Tubi
And on Amazon
and on
Prime.
Amazon Prime for free, with commercials, with ads.
Right.
And what was it? Oh, and then the other ones was the series about end times, and they were called. The first one is called The Distant Thunder. Let me see.
Distant Thunder.
Hold on. Let me see. To pull it back up. No. The first one is called A Thief in the Night. So you want to look for the series. The first one is called A Thief in the Night.
And then I saw old McMoney, her husband apparently has a solar generator and something else. If you could scroll up a little,
Oh, okay.
right there.
All right. Old McMoney says, I bought a dual fuel generator that uses propane.
Yep.
As well as gas. Propane is easier to store than gasoline. Mr. McMoney is slowly buying power tools that run on batteries. We got solar generator. Very good.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple fuels gives you more options.
Dominique is asking you, Old McMoney, what brand it is. And please, if you invest in a what's it called? A generator. Sorry.
Okay.
If you invest in a generator, one of the things that we suggest you do on a regular basis is maintenance. And I
Yes.
say that, and I'm pointing over to you,
Yeah.
because Mr. C has a schedule set up
I do.
for just that.
Purpose. I mean, I do a summer or a spring and late fall maintenance, depending on how often it runs, change the oil. I do it with my snowblower too, so they're kind of same schedule kind of a thing. But you want to make sure you get them out, make sure they fire up, make sure that they're making power.
Yeah, because we got caught one summer.
Yep.
In the heat without power for almost a week. And we had a generator that was fairly new.
Yeah.
Hadn't used it but probably one time.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't been running maintenance on it. So when we needed it the most, it failed. We failed ourselves. And that was a learning lesson for us. So we have been prepping and learning from either our mistakes or learning from other people's mistakes, and we have been adding to our survival list of things to do or things not to do. And that was one of those things that we learned from there, that in the future you maintain those products or those items, because when you need them, you want them to work.
Right. And really and truly it takes, half hour. So it's
on your schedule.
Yeah, it's really not an inconvenience. And you'd rather make sure that you have these things now that you've bought them and that they actually work.
Shalom, try it, buy it, make it, sell. It's good to see you here, sweetheart. Says, what do you think of Mr. Heater? I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting one. So, okay, family, this goes out to you all. We're helping each other. If you are familiar with the Mr. Heater, our family member here is asking what your thoughts are. So pipe in and help out with that. I don't have one. So, and Mr. C and I, we don't know anything about it. So help this family member out. Is it worth the purchase? And again, our furnace went out on us. and we were in the freezing cold for a few days, okay, just recently. But see, because Mr. C and I have been prepping and planning for such a time as this, we were okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there are other people that when they get caught like that, they suffer. Okay,
Yeah.
but because of us planning and prepping ahead of time, we didn't really have too much of an issue. It was a few days before we had it actually under control. Yesterday, no, last night.
Yeah.
Last night actually, we had heat actually returned back to the house where
Yeah.
it was actually comfortable again, and that was last night finally. So we were in the cold over here in this freezing temperature with snow on the outside ground. Okay, that's just how cold it was. But can I share a story with you guys? Now, isn't the water that comes up to it's from the faucet, isn't that heated by the furnace?
The water heater.
Yeah. So if
Heats the water.
okay, so even if it's cold, you can still get hot water come out of this
out of the water heater.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, as long as it's,
Furnace is not attached to it. Is what
No.
I'm saying. Okay.
It's nothing to do with it.
Okay. I just want to know. Anyhow. Okay, so McMoney, you bought one. Is that the heater buddy? Oh, Mr. Buddy. That's a different one, I think. But that's okay. Whatever works. Oh, McMoney says Mr. McMoney scored a tool shed with an exhaust turbine for free. And that fits their generator. Oh,
very nice.
That is cool. Yeah, because we were talking about actually building something to house ours.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that he was able to snag that. So although we had cold temperatures, freezing temperatures in the house, we did not have issue with electricity. So we didn't have an all-out, blackout where we just didn't have electricity and heat. We just didn't have the heat. We still had electricity, so we were still able to function. And again, it wasn't. I didn't find that it was that bad. We survived, and it wasn't too bad. We have plenty of blankets around here, hats, gloves, and clothes. So we were good.
Yeah.
So anybody else have any issues or any questions? I'll tell you what I did though. Yesterday, I'll make this kind of on the brief side. This cold weather is the time for comfort foods, right? This is the time for comfort foods. And so the other day I made Mr. C and my brother, they're good buddies together, but I made Mr. C, my brother, and myself a pot of bean soup that turned out really good.
Yeah, that was.
If I have to say so myself.
It really was.
And pretty much it's what I say to you all the time. If you can learn how to pressure can your foods, because when it's all said and done, you can take it off the shelf and it becomes fast food, but it's good fast food. It's different than going to McDonald's or Burger King. That's fast food, yes, but do you know what's in that stuff? When you pressure can your own food, it's fast food that once it's been processed and you have it on the shelf, all you have to do is take out, because for this bean soup, I took out a pint of ground beef that I had pressure canned. I used 2 pints of pinto beans. I used frozen spinach, about a cup of frozen spinach. I cut up an onion. I'm trying to think of what else went in this.
Mixed vegetables.
Some mixed vegetables, some beef broth, some, of course, water. And you can add anything, pretty much anything else after that to your soup. And this soup was really, really good. And then I put some bread in the oven. And so we had soup and bread for our meal yesterday.
Yeah,
That's what you call good old comfort food. And it didn't take long to prep or put together because I did all the prep work beforehand.
well, it was good because it was cold in the house.
So, comfort food. Oh, Terry Ann, tell us when it'll be ready and we'll be there.
Oh,
Terry
yeah.
Ann says she's making Mississippi pot roast. Yeah, just let us know when you would like us to show up.
I'll grab the keys. We'll be right over.
We'll be right there. Yeah. Yeah, Tina Johnston, we were talking about that. Just keep your water dripping so that you can keep your pipes from freezing. Yes, we talked about that. Pray for our sis, Janice, because I believe she said that her pipes froze and burst. So pray for her situation. Yes, Terry Ann, you're a canner also. Terry Ann says it'll be ready in an hour. Oh, okay. She told us to be ready in an hour. We can get ourselves ready. But she's also a canner, I believe.
Okay.
Aren't you, Terry Ann? Aren't you a person that does pressure canning as well, right?
Ah, very good.
Yes, I thought so. Okay, and Connie, we are in Illinois, the cold state.
Yep, we're up near Chicago.
Yeah. We need some viewpoints on any of you guys that are out in the country areas where it's somewhat warm, because
yeah, I was gonna say
we're looking for
northern states.
No, we're looking for some land somewhere that we can. He's at it again. I'm gonna leave you alone. He's at it again. We're looking for some land somewhere where we don't have to deal with the snow and the cold. If we can go somewhere warm, that would be nice. He's still too young to retire.
Yep. Another 20 years and I'll be ready.
You know you older than that. He's much older than that. It's not 20 years. Stop it.
It's more like 3. But, wishful thinking kind of thing.
He's only 20.
That's right.
No, you're not. Okay. So if you guys have any suggestions,
Ooh.
and we're looking between what, Arizona maybe, and to give an area, Arizona, up how far? Missouri?
Yeah,
the lower part of Missouri to, we'll even go to Mexico, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll even look at Mexico. We're just looking for some land that we can retire to. So Pamela's in Texas. Terry Ann's in California.
Okay.
Tina Johnson made some cowboy candy. What's that?
I don't know.
What's cowboy candy? That was the first thing that she canned, and she's still learning. I haven't learned that one, so give us some more information on cowboy candy. Come to North Arkansas.
Okay.
That's 12 gauge.
At least it's warm. That would definitely be in the
realm. You know something? I was born in Arkansas. I've never been there. Born, and then we were whisked out of there. But I was born in that place in a house. Now I'm giving my age, right? I was born in a house in Lake Village, Arkansas. Shalom, shalom, Serena Lightfoot. It's good to see you, sweetie. Oh, McMoney says it's 58 degrees where she is in Tucson area.
Wow. There's only 57 degrees difference between there and here right now.
57 degrees difference?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's 1.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be there.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
I'd rather be there than here. Oh, is that right? 12 gauge says, somehow I knew that Lake Village isn't far from me. I've never been to the state of Arkansas since then, though. So it would be a trip. It would be a trip to make because I've never been there.
Last time I was there was I went to Arkadelphia to the state park.
Okay. Shalom, shalom, Lavina Crawford. Lavina. Lavina Crawford. Shalom, shalom. It's good to see you. Okay. 12 gauge said I must come back. Okay, it was started out cold in Tucson and started at 22 and now it's at 57 if I can read that correctly.
Yep. Wow,
Arkansas has the best tomatoes. Well, I have to tell you something. If I am a fan of the cherry tomatoes. I love my cherry tomatoes and love some good cucumbers too. And I'll tell you that Illinois, here we have had in my garden, we've had good success with the cherry tomatoes, and they come out so sweet. So I do love those tomatoes. The beefy ones are pretty good too, but I prefer the cherry tomatoes. So we might have to, do a contest on who's got the best tomatoes there. But that's good to know. Arkansas has the best tomatoes. I like that.
Right. Let's see. Connie says, "Is Chicago as bad as they make it seem to be on the news?"
As far as crime, I think that's probably what she's talking about. Crime, or maybe they call it the Windy City because it's cold. So is it cold? Absolutely. On the cold days, it gets cold. It gets really fiercely cold in Chicago. As far as the crime, they say it's pretty bad, but I think that
It's
anywhere
like
where
anywhere. You've got good and bad
Right.
places.
anywhere where you have people that are without resources, you're going to have crime, and that's any place that you go. You're going to have crime. I think that I think a lot of it is hyped up from the news.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, we don't live that close to Chicago.
Well, we're 100 miles roughly from Chicago.
And so we're not in the city that often. The last time I think that we went to the city was probably, you go there to enjoy the museums, and the zoo is there, and the art museum, the Museum of Science and Industry. What would we go to Chicago for?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, the places of interest are actually really nice.
Yeah.
But,
They used to have this thing, I don't know if they still do it. They used to have this thing that was called the Taste.
Yeah,
Was it called the Taste of Chicago?
And yeah.
But I'm not a crowd
Person.
Thank you. He's not a crowd person, so we're alike on that level. Neither one of us like to be around a whole bunch of people, and especially in this day and age, we're really leery about going into any environment where there's a crowd of people, and that goes back to us living with the mindset of prepping and planning for survival. We go through our neighborhoods and we go through other areas that are close by, and we take note of who in the area has swimming pools. Should I be telling this information? Sharing this information?
I don't care.
We take note of who in the area has swimming pools. We take note of who in the area have solar panels that are visible. We take note of the types of structures that are close by.
Yeah.
And these are all with the mindset of, let's say we get to the point where water is like a rarity, and you can't really go to the stores and get what you need to get, and the civil system has broken down, right?
Yeah.
And if the civil system has broken down, and everyone is to fend for themselves, then we
If
need
the zombies attack, we're ready. Yes. Oh, sorry.
If the zombies attack, we're ready.
I was looking at what is it?
Which one?
Right where your mouse is at.
Old McMoney? Or
Yeah,
this
Old
one here?
McMoney, yeah. Company that will
Where is that at?
Right where your mouse is
Oh,
at.
okay. It says that's piece right here.
Yes.
Okay. That's Psalm 91.
Yep.
Sister Mary C. and family. I have a company that will get you land wherever you like it. No credit check and they will finance you. No social needed. Only $301 down and small monthly payments.
Well,
Psalm 91er. Can you do me the grand favor, please, of sending me an email so that we can chat? Okay? Thank you for sharing that. Okay.
North Central. Okay.
Central Africa. I don't know where that came from. Central Arkansas. A. Miller. Haven't been that way in 6 years. No reason. Everyone is gone. Okay. All right. So, family, we've been on for an hour. You guys have any other questions for Mr. C, since he came out and was gracious enough to help me with answering prep questions?
Yeah. It's kind of fun. I mean, if they send stuff in, then we can respond later too.
That's true. If you have any other questions, like he said, we can also always respond to those questions later on. But we really, really appreciate you guys coming out and spending time with us.
Definitely.
Especially on such a cold day.
Yeah. Unless you're in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Where it's a little bit warmer. Yeah. We thank you. Thank you, guys. So I'll do another live sometime soon. If you get a chance, go and watch specifically the one movie. What was it called? American Meltdown. American Meltdown. And we'll come back and talk a little bit about that, because that one deals with nuclear power plant. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it's a nuclear
power plant and the things that can happen. And before you go, one of the things that, you hear them talking about, if there's a nuclear disaster, what to do, right? How to survive. Give your viewpoint on the chances of survival and all of that real quick, if you could, before you go.
Well, from the movie?
We can talk about from the movie standpoint, yeah. If something like that happened.
So, if it's, well, I don't want to give the movie away.
No, but we've talked on here before, not you, but me and the family, we've talked on here before about in the event that there is some type of a nuclear emergency. If there's a nuclear emergency, I kind of said beforehand that there isn't a whole lot that you could do to avoid getting sick or dying, because that's not something that you can just wipe off and keep going. That's something that's in the air, it's in your food, it's in the water. There are precautions that you can take, but can you run from?
Well, so it depends on the circumstance. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. If it's something to the effect of like a dirty bomb, potentially those, as long as you're in a sealed house, or not necessarily a sealed house, but a house that's fairly leak proof as far as air goes, that would be something that's potentially survivable.
Yeah, the closer you are to
okay, that's what you want.
Right, the closer you are to a blast that happens, a nuclear blast that happens.
If it's a dirty bomb blast, the closer you are to that blast zone, the more concentrated the radioactive material would be. The farther out you're away from, then the least you would be.
Right. So the further out you are, the better your chances of survival.
Yeah.
The closer you are to that blast, that's the area that is deadlier.
True.
Is that right?
Yeah, that would be true.
It's deadlier. So I mean, watch the movie and see what it's about, and just kind of uh, pay attention to how the government handles the situation. I think that's important.
Yeah,
Okay, I think that's an important
that's an important
part of the
big
movie.
time. Yeah.
Okay, so if you get a chance, go watch it. All right. So what is it that we're saying before we say goodbye?
Definitely praying that we can our rain gutters up. Oh yeah, definitely get the water away from the house.
Okay. Well, family, I'm going to end it like I always do. But before I do, Mr. C can say, see y'all.
See y'all.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for spending time with us. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We'll be back again. And if you want Mr. C to come back, you guys need to let him know that he needs to come back a little bit more often. Thank you to the moderators for coming on and supporting us as you always do. I appreciate you, Jermaine. I appreciate you, Eve New Beginnings. I appreciate you, Pamela Montgomery, Zion's Girl. And I hope I didn't miss anybody else that was on here as a moderator. Love you guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you so very much. But know this, the Most High, He loves you so much more. Shalom, family. Have a good one and stay warm.